Fruits can last for years without refrigeration when stored the Amish way. The Amish have mastered the technique of preserving fruits for extended storage through basic, natural methods that do not need refrigeration or contemporary technology. These time-honored methods not only preserve fruit but also provide a healthier and more sustainable approach to food storage. In this video, we will discuss the traditional preservation methods the Amish use to extend the life of their fruits. We will explore how these methods allow them to enjoy the fruits of their harvest year-round while maintaining a sustainable, eco-friendly lifestyle. By the end, you will have the tools to incorporate some of these timeless techniques into your food preservation practices. Fruit decays due to its natural abundance of sugars and water, which fosters conditions conducive to the growth of bacteria, mold, and yeast. Once fruits are picked, their inherent defense mechanisms diminish, making them susceptible to these microorganisms. Bacteria and fungi consume the sugars, breaking down the fruit's structure and leading to its decay. Exposure to oxygen accelerates this deterioration, particularly when fruits are sliced or damaged, which permits more bacteria to infiltrate. If not controlled, spoilage can render fruits unsafe to consume in just days, making efficient preservation crucial for extended storage. In the absence of refrigeration, which inhibits bacterial activity, spoilage occurs even more rapidly. As a result, without effective preservation techniques, fruits are inherently susceptible to swift decay. Amish preservation methods are very successful in countering these spoilage elements. These techniques allow the Amish to preserve fruit securely for years without depending on refrigeration. In general, Amish preservation techniques demonstrate a clever method for extended storage, employing natural methods to maintain the safety and taste of fruits. These methods preserve quality, making sure that fruits picked during the brief growing season stay accessible all year long. These tried and true techniques enable the Amish to maintain the freshness and nutrients of fruit efficiently, demonstrating that contemporary technology isn't the sole means to ensure food safety. Amish families follow a detailed, almost ritualistic approach to preserving fruits, using methods honed over generations to ensure they have access to vital nutrients through every season. Each preservation technique they employ reflects a deep understanding of how to make the most of their harvest. Canning. Canning is fundamental to Amish food preservation, renowned for its dependability and adaptability in processing a diverse range of fruits. This technique is especially beneficial as it enables Amish families to store fruits at their optimal ripeness, securing their flavors and nutrients for extended preservation. The process initiates with the thoughtful choice of fruits according to their acidity levels. Fruits with high acidity, such as apples and berries, are ideal for canning using the water bath method. The fruit is placed into glass jars, frequently with a mild sugar syrup to improve both taste and shelf life. The jars are subsequently placed in boiling water, which raises the contents to a safe temperature, effectively eliminating any bacteria or microorganisms that might lead to spoilage, guaranteeing the fruit will remain fresh for months or even years. For low-acid fruits, such as figs or specific varieties of melons, pressure canning is the preferred technique. This method enables Amish families to attain elevated temperatures essential for safely storing these fruits, which lack sufficient acid naturally to inhibit bacterial growth. During the pressure canning method, a specific pressure canner is utilized to generate steam and heat, establishing conditions that guarantee the destruction of any possible spoilage bacteria. When executed properly, pressure-canned fruits can stay tasty and safe to consume for over 5 years, providing a dependable and safe food source all year long. Amish families take great care in ensuring their jars have a proper seal. After the canning process, they check the lids to confirm they have firmly suctioned down, creating an airtight seal. An improperly sealed jar can lead to spoilage, and discovering this too late can be dangerous. That is why the Amish make sealing a priority, often double-checking each jar to ensure it is fully secured. In Amish households, canned fruits are not just for storage, they are often a centerpiece in meals, from fresh jams to fruit pies, providing a sweet touch during long winter months when fresh produce is scarce. The Amish always ensure jars are properly sealed after canning by checking that lids have a firm suction to avoid spoilage. Drying and dehydrating. Dehydrating and drying is a well-known and efficient preservation technique utilized by Amish families, particularly for fruits such as apples, peaches, and plums. In contrast to canning, which stores fruits in a liquid medium, dehydrating eliminates moisture from the fruit to ensure it remains shelf-stable. The Amish often dehydrate fruits by cutting them into thin slices and putting them in warm, breezy locations, enabling the natural circulation to gradually dry the pieces. To expedite drying, numerous Amish families use wood-fired dehydrators, offering a regulated environment that guarantees consistent drying, aiding in preserving the fruit's natural sweetness and flavors. This technique is especially advantageous for maintaining the nutrients and tastes of fruits, resulting in a compact, shelf-stable treat that can endure for years. After the fruits are completely dried, they are kept in airtight containers to shield them from moisture and pollutants. Dried fruits rank among the most durable preserved foods, frequently lasting for as long as 15 years when stored properly. In Amish households, dried fruits occupy a significant role in in their kitchens. They are often found in bowls on tables prepared for snacking or incorporating into dishes such as porridge or pastries. These fruits are popular because they are easy to use and bring a hint of natural sweetness to meals. The shelf life of dried fruits relies on the quality of their storage. Storing them in a cool, dark location is crucial to stop moisture absorption, which may result in spoilage. Amish families commonly utilize root cellars or pantries to store dried fruits under ideal conditions, thereby prolonging their shelf life. Dehydrated fruits, particularly apples, have a flavor similar to candy when dried, making them a popular treat among both Amish kids and grown-ups. The sugars naturally present in the fruits become more concentrated, resulting in a delightfully chewy texture. When drying fruits, the Amish ensure they are dried thoroughly to avoid any residual moisture that could lead to mold or spoilage. They then store them in airtight containers and inspect them periodically to ensure they remain dry and fresh. Root cellar storage. Root cellar storage is a timeless and natural preservation technique that Amish families use to keep fruits fresh for months without the need for refrigeration. Root cellars are cool, underground spaces with high humidity which create an ideal environment for storing fruits like apples, pears, and even root vegetables. The constant, stable temperature slows the ripening process, helping fruits stay fresh throughout the colder months. Amish families take great care in storing their harvests, often wrapping fruits in straw or paper to protect them from bruising and moisture buildup. This method is an excellent example of sustainability and resourcefulness, as root cellars require no electricity and offer a way to preserve food using the Earth's natural conditions. Stepping into a well-organized Amish root cellar can feel like stepping back in time, as shelves are lined with jars, apples, and other stored items, all carefully tucked away in this cool, dark space. The benefits of root cellar storage extend beyond simply keeping fruits fresh. It also connects Amish families to a more self-sufficient way of living. These cellars are often built with care and pride, passed down through generations, making them an essential part of Amish food storage traditions. Root cellars have been used for thousands of years, dating back to ancient civilizations such as the Romans, who also used underground spaces to store crops. The Amish regularly inspect fruits in the root cellar for signs of spoilage or rot, as one bad apple can spoil the bunch. If you notice any fruits starting to go bad, remove them immediately to prevent the spread of mold or bacteria. Salt curing. Salt curing is an unconventional but effective preservation method that some Amish families use for certain fruits, particularly hardier types like lemons or berries. Although it is not as common as other methods like canning or drying, salt curing offers a unique way to store fruits for extended periods. In this process, fruits are layered with salt in glass jars, where the salt acts as a desiccant, drawing moisture out of the fruit. This creates an environment that is inhospitable to bacteria, preserving the fruit's texture and flavor while extending its shelf life. The salt not only absorbs excess moisture, but also imparts a briny flavor that adds a distinctive twist to dishes. Salt curing may not be a go-to technique for most Amish families, but it remains an effective method for preserving fruit that might not be as easily canned or dried. For example, salt-cured lemons are a beloved ingredient in Amish kitchens, prized for their tangy, preserved flavor. They are often added to stews, soups, or meat dishes, providing a refreshing, zesty contrast to heavier flavors. This method of preservation is also common in other traditional cultures worldwide. This highlights the global significance of salt in food preservation. Salt-cured fruits can last for several years, making them a valuable asset for long-term food storage. The salt's ability to prevent spoilage while enhancing the fruit's flavor is what makes this method particularly useful in Amish households, where resourcefulness and sustainability are key. It is a perfect example of how Amish families make the most of what they have, turning a simple and natural substance like salt into a reliable preservative for their foods. Salt curing has been used for centuries across many cultures, from ancient Egypt to modern-day Mediterranean countries. It is one of the oldest methods of preserving food, particularly citrus fruits like lemons, which have been preserved with salt for over 2,000 years. When using salt curing, the Amish always ensure that the fruit is fully submerged in salt and stored in airtight containers. They check regularly for any signs of mold or fermentation, as the preservation process can sometimes cause these issues if moisture is not adequately controlled. Preservation in honey or sugar syrup. Preservation in honey or sugar syrup is a delicious and effective way the Amish preserve fruits, turning them into a sweet, long-lasting delicacy. The process involves submerging fruits like berries, peaches, or cherries in jars filled with honey or sugar syrup. The high sugar content acts as a preservative by creating a thick, low-oxygen barrier that bacteria cannot penetrate. This method creates fruits that not only retain their natural sweetness but develop a deep, concentrated flavor as the syrup infuses them over time. The Amish appreciate this technique not only for its ability to keep fruits fresh for years, but also for the rich, decadent taste it adds. These preserved fruits are perfect for desserts, where the syrup can be poured over pancakes, added to cakes, or even used as a topping for ice cream. When stored in a cool, dark place, fruits preserved in honey or syrup can last up to several years, making them a reliable treat even during the harsh winter months. An additional benefit of preserving fruits in honey is its natural antibacterial properties. Honey does not just preserve the fruit, it also acts as an extra safeguard against spoilage, ensuring the fruits remain safe and delicious. This is especially important in Amish households where self-sufficiency is key to their way of life. The sugar, syrup, or honey not only extends the fruit's shelf life, but also acts as a natural preservative. This gives the Amish a way to stockpile tasty treats and add depth to their cooking. Honey has been used as a preservative for thousands of years. In ancient Egypt, honey was often used to preserve fruits and meats, and even as a burial offering. Its long shelf life and natural antimicrobial properties make it one of the oldest and most reliable preservation methods. Amish families ensure the long-term success of honey-preserved fruits by always checking for any signs of fermentation or spoilage, such as bubbling or off smells. They store jars in cool, dark places to maintain their flavor and integrity. Fermentation. Fermentation is an age-old preservation technique that the Amish have perfected for certain fruits, creating not just longevity but also a unique flavor profile. When fruits like apples or peaches are placed in jars with natural yeast or salt, a fascinating chemical process occurs. The fermentation process encourages beneficial bacteria to flourish, transforming the fruits into slightly tangy, almost pickled treats. This method goes beyond preserving the fruit. It also enriches the Amish diet with probiotics, which support gut health and overall wellness. The Amish have long believed in the health benefits of fermented foods, incorporating them into their diet as a source of both nourishment and flavor. Fermented fruits can typically last more than 5 years when stored in a cool, dark environment, making them an excellent long-term food source. These fruits are often served alongside meals, adding a complex flavor and a tangy kick that enhances the overall dining experience. Fermentation is deeply ingrained in Amish food preservation traditions, representing one of the oldest methods still in use today. It is a natural, hands-off process that relies on the magic of beneficial microorganisms to do the work. In addition to preserving the fruits, fermentation enriches the food with healthy bacteria that are essential for digestive health, making them a great addition to any meal. The practice of fermenting fruits and vegetables dates back thousands of years to ancient cultures like the Chinese, Egyptians, and Romans, who recognized the preservation and health benefits long before modern refrigeration. Amish families always ensure that their jars and utensils are thoroughly sterilized before beginning fermentation to prevent the growth of harmful bacteria. Additionally, they store fermented fruits in a cool, consistent temperature to avoid spoilage. Vinegar pickling. Another preservation method Amish families rely on is vinegar pickling. This involves submerging fruits in vinegar to create an acidic environment where bacteria and spoilage cannot thrive. This method is particularly useful for sour fruits, such as apples or pears, which maintain their structure while developing a complex, tangy flavor over time. The acidity of the vinegar acts as a natural preservative, creating a safe and long-lasting way to store fruits without refrigeration. The Amish commonly use this technique to add diversity to their preserved food collection, offering a flavorful alternative to the sweeter options like jams and canned fruits. The vinegar pickled fruits are a popular accompaniment to savory meals, often served alongside meats or heavier dishes, providing a refreshing contrast to the richness of the main course. When properly preserved, vinegar pickled fruits can last for a very long time in a cool, dark place. Their zesty tang not only enhances the flavor of meals, but also supports the Amish goal of self-sufficiency, creating food that is both practical and flavorful. The art of pickling fruits has been practiced for centuries, dating back to ancient civilizations. The Amish continue this tradition, maintaining a deep connection to their food preservation roots. When pickling, the Amish use the right vinegar to fruit ratio and ensure that the fruit is fully submerged to avoid contamination. They sterilize their jars before storing. This will also help maintain freshness. Wood ash preservation. One of the more unusual yet practical techniques in Amish fruit preservation is wood ash preservation. Often used for fruits like apples, this method involves coating each fruit with a fine layer of wood ash, a natural byproduct of the Amish wood stoves. The fruits are then carefully stacked in boxes or barrels and stored in cool, dry spaces. The wood ash acts as a natural barrier against moisture, pests, and mold, helping the fruit remain fresh for several months. This practice relies on the ash's alkaline properties, which create an environment where bacteria and mold struggle to thrive. For Amish families, it is a clever way to maximize every part of their homestead resources, ensuring that even what might seem like waste can play a role in their food preservation. Wood ash preservation has been used in various forms throughout history and was a staple in early American households before refrigeration. The Amish have preserved this tradition, valuing it not only for its practicality but as part of their sustainable, low-impact lifestyle. The Amish ensure they use only ash from untreated wood and handle the fruits carefully to avoid any contamination, ensuring the best results in safe preservation. Fruit leathers. To make fruit leathers, the Amish start with ripe, peak season fruits, which they then puree to capture the full flavor and nutrients of the harvest. This puree is spread thinly onto trays and carefully dried over time in a warm, controlled environment. Traditionally, Amish families would use wood-fired ovens or even the sun on warm days to dry these leathers naturally, a process that requires careful monitoring to avoid over-drying or developing mold. When dried to a chewy consistency, the fruit leather becomes dense, flavorful, and packed with concentrated natural sugars, making it a delicious treat that lasts. Properly stored in airtight containers and kept in cool, dark storage spaces, fruit leathers can last for a very long time. For the Amish, these snacks are not just food, they are a means of capturing summer flavors for winter months. They are particularly popular with Amish children, making perfect lunchbox snacks or on-the-go treats, bringing a sweet taste of the orchard to daily life. Fruit leathers are among the oldest food preservation methods with origins in many ancient cultures. This timeless method, preserved by the Amish, reflects their commitment to simple, sustainable living and reliance on traditional knowledge. For Amish families, ensuring that their preserved fruits stay fresh for extended periods hinges on using the right storage containers. Glass jars with tight-fitting lids or wax-sealed containers are preferred because they provide an airtight seal that prevents air and moisture from reaching the fruit. This seal is vital for keeping bacteria, mold, and other contaminants out which would otherwise spoil the fruit. The Amish often reuse glass jars from previous canning batches, a sustainable practice that not only saves money but also reduces waste. Using containers like these also helps retain the freshness and flavor of the preserved fruit, making them an ideal long-term storage solution. Airtight containers help maintain the quality of the preserved food and are an essential part of the Amish method of storing produce for future consumption. The Amish take great care in selecting the right storage conditions for their preserved fruits to ensure they last for as long as possible. They typically store their jars of canned, dried, or fermented fruits in cool, dark, and dry places such as root cellars or dedicated pantries. Exposure to heat and light can lead to premature spoilage and a decline in the quality of the fruit. For example, high temperatures can cause fruits to lose their flavor and texture, while light can degrade the nutrients inside. Amish families are careful to ensure that their food storage areas maintain a steady temperature and low humidity, which are key factors in extending the shelf life of preserved fruits. Keeping these fruits in the ideal conditions allows the Amish to enjoy their harvest throughout the year without worrying about it going bad too soon. The Amish practice a simple but effective rotation system for their preserved foods, ensuring that older items are used first before newer ones. This system helps prevent food from being forgotten at the back of the pantry and eventually spoiling. Amish families make sure that the oldest preserved fruits are consumed first, keeping their pantry organized and their food supply fresh. This method is not just about organization, it is a way to maximize the value of the preserved goods and avoid waste. The Amish approach to food storage is both practical and efficient, as they tend to carefully monitor the condition of their stock and use what needs to be consumed first. This rotation system ensures that nothing goes to waste and every preserved item is put to good use. Preserving fruits goes beyond merely preparing for the winter season. It is essential for guaranteeing that Amish families can obtain fresh, locally grown produce all year round. Due to the short harvest periods in colder regions, Amish families have methods for preserving fruits that maintain their taste, nutrients, and texture. These methods assist the Amish in guaranteeing that they do not rely solely on the limited months when fresh produce is plentiful, but can savor their harvest during all 4 seasons. This practice of conservation illustrates their profound bond with the earth and their wish to utilize every resource at their disposal. Preserving fruits is in harmony with Amish principles of sustainability, self-reliance, and a lifestyle mindful of the environment. The Amish elude the expenses tied to purchasing store-bought produce, particularly during off-seasons when prices soar by canning their fruits. This enables them to conserve funds while guaranteeing they do not depend on outside resources. From an environmental perspective, these conservation techniques also promote a more sustainable lifestyle. By minimizing food waste, the Amish can maximize what they cultivate, guaranteeing that nothing is wasted. The Amish's dedication to ingenuity allows allows them to minimize their environmental impact, reflecting a profound reverence for nature and its rhythms. The Amish place a strong emphasis on healthier preservation techniques, preferring traditional methods that exclude artificial preservatives, chemicals, and processing agents typical in numerous commercial food preservation practices. Employing natural techniques enables Amish families to preserve the quality of the fruits they gather without adding any harmful additives. These methods are much healthier alternatives to modern food preservation methods, which often rely on synthetic chemicals to extend shelf life. In this way, the Amish can preserve the nutritional value of their foods while maintaining their commitment to wholesome natural living. Preserving fruits in traditional ways is an essential part of the Amish way of life. This sense of independence is vital, especially since many Amish communities live in rural areas with limited access to conveniences most people rely on daily. By preserving fruits for the long term, the Amish ensure that they have access to fresh, nutritious food year-round without the need for electricity or other modern utilities. This independence not only provides a sense of security, but also aligns with their desire to live simply in harmony with the natural rhythms of life. Conclusion. In this video, we have examined several of the oldest and most effective methods of fruit preservation employed by Amish families. Methods such as canning, drying, pickling, fermenting, and salt curing enable the Amish to savor fresh, tasty fruits throughout the year without depending on contemporary technology. These preservation techniques are easy, organic, and eco-friendly, allowing them to maintain their harvest for months or even years. The delightful flavor of dried apples, the zest of vinegar-pickled pears, or the strong taste of salt-cured lemons, the Amish approach to preserving fruit showcases the elegance of classic techniques that help food endure longer while maintaining its genuine flavor and nutritional worth. If these practices inspire you, why not attempt to preserve some fruits on your own? Begin with something straightforward, select a seasonal fruit, and experiment with drying or canning it using the methods we've talked about. You'll not only enjoy that fruit well beyond the season's conclusion, but you'll also experience the pure, preservative-free tastes that highlight the uniqueness of these Amish techniques. You might be trying to prepare for the winter season or seeking an enjoyable DIY project. Trying out preservation can be a fulfilling endeavor. For more insights on Amish traditions, be sure to check out our next video, where we will discuss deeper into their sustainable farming practices and how they maintain a balanced, eco-conscious lifestyle.